Don't.
What?
There's only one person here that has attitude.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Camilla Latini is suing cement mason Rudolfo Contreras and his employee, Gary Gomez, for mistakenly tearing up her driveway.
Order. All rise. It's case number 5 on the calendar in the matter of Latini versus Contreras Gomez.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Miss Latini, you own a home, and the defendant's company mistakenly jackhammered and dug up part of your driveway.
That's correct.
And they did so because they were under the mistaken impression that you would hire them to do that.
I'm not sure what, okay, yeah.
But that's what they say.
Okay.
They were under the impression that you had hired them to do that. Mr. Contreras, you own this company?
No, it's not a company. It's a side job. We're both cement masons.
Okay. What do you do for a living?
Concrete, cement mason.
Okay. So this isn't a side job. This is what you do for a living.
It's what I do for a...
Did, in fact, go on to plaintiff's property and jackhammer part of her cement driveway? The answer is yes.
Yes.
Don't think of where I'm going. Just answer the questions.
All right.
Plaintiff never hired you to do that.
No.
This is what your defense is. You were contacted by someone on the internet who said that they owned this property that belongs to the plaintiff, and they wanted a new driveway. And you gave these people a quote. What was the quote for the new driveway?
$6,000.
$6,000 to put in a new driveway. You must have gone to the property to look at it.
Yes.
She wasn't there.
Correct.
Neither was the person that you were dealing with over the internet.
Correct.
Person that you were dealing with over the internet said, your price is agreeable. I'll wire you the money. But before I wire you the money, I want you to wire me $300 so I know that it's a legitimate place where I'm sending the money. So you sent that person who claimed to be the owner of the plaintiff's property a wire from your bank account for $300, correct?
Incorrect.
You say you sent them $300. How did you send it to them?
That was sent,
Just a second. Did you send them $300?
Yes.
How did you send them $300?
Through communications, through the text messaging, through the phone.
No, you can't send a text message with $300. How did you send them the $300?
Wired.
That's what I said. You sent them a wire for $300. And then you and the crew went out and started to jackhammer the driveway. And when you tried to get them to get you $6,000, according to you, they disconnected their phone, they disconnected their line. Oh, she comes home, she finds a driveway jackhammer. She said, who the heck are you? He said, but we were hired to put in a new driveway. She said, I never hired you to put in a new driveway. That's the story. I mean, that's what you told me in here.
For you, huh?
No, that is not what I told her. I haven't said much of anything, for starters.
Well, I'm
With all
just
due
reading,
respect.
just a second. I'm reading your answer. And that's in a Reader's Digest form. So you tell me, did the plaintiff hire you to do a new driveway? That's a yes or a no.
No. And yes.
You tell me how yes. You tell me how the plaintiff hired you to put in a new driveway. Mr. Contreras, don't make yourself look foolish. Because if what I suggest happened, that you were hired by this person who you never met because he said he was out of town getting cancer treatment, which is what you wrote in your answer. And so you wired him $300 so he could confirm that he was dealing with a legitimate outfit before he sent you the $6,000 to do the driveway. You tell me what part of that is wrong. That's what you wrote.
For one, he was claiming to be the owner, okay?
I don't care whether he was claiming to be God.
It was a big scam, is what I'm getting at.
Just a second.
Okay.
If you opened up your ears, and if you used your ears more than your mouth, and used your brain, you would understand that's exactly what I just said. That's exactly the scenario that I just said, that you was scammed out of $300, and you destroyed her property because you weren't smart, which is clear to me how it happened. crystal clear to me how it happened. Are you his partner?
I'm right here beside him.
What?
Yeah.
Good. The only question is, you said to her, I'll fix the part that I jackhammered. He said, I'll fix the part that I jackhammered. You said, I want a new driveway. That's what he says.
For $4,000?
Don't understand something. You and your partner made a mistake. You got conned. It's like somebody I had here yesterday told me that she met a guy online from Nigeria who said to her, I want to come and live with you but I need to know your bank information. That's what happened to you. That's really what happened to you. You said, listen, you're in the concrete business. I have a house. I want you to do a job for me, but I want to make sure I'm dealing with a legitimate outfit. So wire me $300. I'll send it right back to you along with $6,000 to do the driveway. You sent them the $300. They closed their line. You never heard from them again. And you destroyed another person's property who had nothing to do with you. You got scammed. But between you, who were dumb and got scammed, and the plaintiff, you're responsible. Now, the only question that I have to decide is, and that's going to be based on pictures, is I want to see what the driveway looked like jackhammered. I want to see whether patching the driveway is sufficient, or you charged $6,000 to put in a new driveway. There's no question. I've had and I have a lot of driveways. Unless you do the whole driveway, it looks like a patch job. It looks like one piece is done in 2020 and one piece is done in 2002, and it doesn't look right. So reasonably, it can be repaired, or whether she needs a new driveway. That's the law. May I see photographs, please?
Well, this photograph is
don't tell me what the photograph is. Just hand it to me.
That's before the damage. The one after is after.
Don't talk. Don't talk. Just
don't talk.
Stuff.
This is like a silent movie. This is a before and after picture. What does that mean?
The stack of pictures, that's the after I had it repaired. And it does look like a patchwork job. I just was desperate to have it fixed. So.
Well, it is a halfway job. Is this the fix?
That's the fixed.
And is this what they jackhammered?
Yes.
Can I see the bill, what you spent to have it fixed? Just the bill to have it fixed. Good, thank you. I want to know how much you spent to have it fixed. I have two checks.
Yes,
$2,268 are the two checks that I have.
Yes, so the gentleman that fixed it started the job, and another check to him after he finished.
So you spent $2,268.
And also $895 for the concrete. To save us money, he said that if I ordered the concrete myself and saved him doing that, that I could save some money, so.
Got it. Listen, she got a bargain. You charge
$4,000, you do the whole driveway.
Listen to me. You watch your attitude. There's only one person here that has attitude. Listen to me. For people who were stupid enough to get scammed by this person, I would not be so aggressive. You were charging this man who was... hey, I'm speaking. You may get away with that at home, not in here. You were charging this guy $6,000 for a new driveway. She had the thing done for $3,160. You should get down on your knees and kiss her feet.
That wasn't even a third of the driveway.
Judgment for the plaintiff.
Oh, I had additional. I hired a private investigator to find them.
Yeah, you charged that one on the bill, too.
And I'd lost wages.
Yeah,
you would have
what?
answered
You go to
your
your work.
phone, we could have done it.
Nobody called.
Should tell you work. She would large wages, man.
I'm gonna need you to be quiet. Really? No.
right.
I'm gonna need you to be quiet.
I didn't know if someone had done this as an act of vandalism.
I understand we did a mistake, okay? I got scammed, that's that.
I didn't know what happened.
I would have paid the concrete out of pocket. I'm still scammed out of $400.
I hired a private investigator, actually, to even find them. I had no idea who had done the damage.
I could have paid for the concrete, done the work, done deal. Everybody's happy. She never gave me the opportunity.
I'm glad my driveway's fixed.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter, Speller versus Jelks. Step forward, please.
Sharon Speller is suing mechanic Dwight Jelks for the cost of car parts and for the value of a vehicle that went missing.
Mr. Jelks, I'm going to start with you. The plaintiff brought a car into you to be fixed.
Correct.
And it was an old car, and it was a car that she had inherited from someone. Was she able to drive it in, or did she tow it?
I towed it.
So you went to her house and you towed it?
Correct.
Had you known her before you towed the car?
Yes, I did.
For how long?
A few years.
Now, on what date did you tow this car in to your shop?
I want to say October.
Of last year?
Correct.
And when had you inherited the car, Ms. Speller?
Like September of 2016.
From whom?
My uncle.
Had you been driving it?
I drove the car from Alabama.
When?
Like September of 2016.
And then what did you do with it?
It started cutting off. So then I called Dwight to come see, why the car was cutting off. Dwight he had the car. It was going back.
Did you give him the car?
I said maybe like September 18th of 2016. He gave me the car back to try to take it to the emissions test, like in November. It didn't work out.
Just a second. So in November of 2016, it didn't pass emissions?
Yes.
So you couldn't register it?
It had already been registered.
That is not correct.
If it had already been registered, why would you take it to emissions?
Because when I had the car, I had to get the car in my name, and it wouldn't pass the emission. You know how they give you time to get it fixed?
Just a second.
Yes.
So it didn't pass emissions in November?
Mm-hmm, yes.
So what did you do with the car between November of 2016 and October of 2018, is my question.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You drove it for a while and then it would break down?
Yes, ma'am.
And what year car was this?
This was a 1994 Buick LeSabre.
So the car is about 25 years old?
Yeah, but it was in good condition. Only had
Well, evidently not if it kept breaking down.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Sharon Speller says mechanic Dwight Jelks is responsible for the disappearance
between November of 2016 and October of 2018, is my question.
From my house back to Dwight's.
I don't want you to call him by his first name. Mr. Jelks.
Mr. Jelks.
So it went back to Mr. Jelks.
Yes.
Is what you're telling me over a 2-year period, it went back and forth to be fixed?
Yes.
And it was unregistered? That's either a yes or a no. If it's a yes, it was registered, you'll show me the registration.
Yes.
So was it registered
Yes.
between 16 and 18?
Yes.
Show me.
If the car was registered, it wouldn't have got towed.
What?
If the car was registered, it wouldn't have
No,
got
I
towed.
just want to see where. This is 2016. I want to see that the car was registered between 2016 and 2018.
No, the license plates had expired by then.
Well, then why are you wasting my time giving me nonsense when I ask you for something? You think if you just give me a piece of paper, it's going to suffice? So the answer is between 2016 and 2018, the car was not registered.
Yes.
So between 2016 and 2018, doing with the car?
It was going back and forth.
How is it getting back and forth? What? Stand. Name.
My name is Hollis Heron. I'm her son. Between 2016 and 2018, a car run for a few days, and then it'll overheat.
I want to know what was happening with the car between 2016 and 2018 when it wasn't registered.
Because we was trying to get it registered every time it was something different. First, the fuel pump went out. He took the car back to fix the fuel pump. We get the car, we was gonna take it to the emission place again. It cut off again. Then it was the battery went out. Every time it was time to get the car back,
So
it was
the
something
car
different.
was not drivable. You drove it for a while and then it would break down.
Yes, ma'am.
So you drove the car while it was unregistered and then it would continually break down and you would take it back to the mechanic to see if he could fix it.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And was he able to ever fix it?
He always
No.
No.
And what year car was this?
This was a 1994 Buick LeSabre.
So the car is about 25 years old.
Yeah, but it was in good condition. Only had
Well, evidently not if it kept breaking down.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What you say is that in October you brought in. What happened?
The car was towed from in front of my house.
What was it doing in front of your house?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Sharon Speller says mechanic Dwight Jelks is responsible for the disappearance of her car.
So the car is about 25 years old.
Yeah, but it was in good condition. Only had
Car, well, evidently not if it kept breaking down. Evidently not. If what you're telling me and what your mother is telling me is that over a 2-year period, it would drive, would cut out, would drive, it would overheat, it would drive, it didn't pass admissions. You could never get it registered in 2 years because it was never in condition to get registered. So don't tell me it was in good condition.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, very good. This car you inherited. Now, what you say is that in October you brought it for the last time to your shop?
Yes, ma'am.
Of 2018? And then what happened?
The car was towed from in front of my house because it had expired plates.
What was it doing in front of your house?
Because I work in the back of my home in the garage. So I was going to repair the car there, but the car got towed the day before I was going to put the motor in it. Another motor.
You accept the responsibility as a mechanic and take custody of someone's property. You're not an insurer, but you have to exercise a reasonable standard of care to see that it doesn't get towed.
Correct.
Now, you knew that it had no plates, and you're a mechanic, so you know if the car is on your property, they won't tow it, because normal people know that, and you look like a normal person.
Correct.
You negligently left it on the street, and according to you, it was towed. She doesn't know where her car is.
In which I told her where her car was. And I was willing to pay.
Just a second. Where was her car?
Towed to City Pound.
How do you know that?
Because they notified me.
Do you have the notification?
No, I don't.
How did they notify you?
They put a card in my mailbox letting me know that the car was towed.
How much after the car was towed did you notify the plaintiff that the car was towed?
The next day.
How did you notify her?
By phone and text.
Can I see the text?
Don't have no text also.
You have no text?
No, ma'am.
Have no nothing?
No.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by.
Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like her.
I'd like you to give me, Bird, the low-end value of 1994, whatever this was.
$1,002.
$1,002.
$1,002.
She stated that the car was registered, in which it wasn't. That's the reason the car was towed.
Listen to me, sir. You're a mechanic.
Correct.
Your obligation is to, if I take my car into Ford or Chevrolet or a mechanical service to take care of my car, and they negligently leave my car out on the street at a meter, and the meter expires, and they keep putting tickets on it, and the car gets towed, that's your fault. You have to exercise reasonable care because I assume you got paid when you were fixing this car.
Yes.
Right. The car's worth $1,002. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
It's all rip-off because there was never nothing wrong with the motor.
Things happen.
It was just one thing after another. I'm just glad it's over with.
The car was towed. I didn't get a chance to get it running again.
Called me and said, Miss Sharon, did you come get your car? And I said, of course not.
I told her that the car was at the...
Called back the next day and said the car had got towed.
That's what happens.
Don't deal with alley mechanics.
She was attracted to his bank account.
How much did you receive?
$60,000.
And all of a sudden you needed money.
But paying him back, a turnoff.
I actually have text messages of him telling me not to worry about it.
Oh, well, this is very nice of him. It shows that he's a nice person and you're not.
He began asking me out after he gave me the money. I refused him.
Listen to me, you're not a victim.
This is Judge Judy.
Todd Moody is suing his former friend, Nancy Camello, for an unpaid loan to obtain an attorney.
Order. All rise. This is case number 187 on the calendar in the matter of Moody versus Camello.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Mr. Moody, it is your claim that you loaned the defendant, someone who you knew from high school,
Correct.
$4,500 for a lawyer.
Yes.
And you needed a lawyer because you were involved in a custody dispute with the father of one or more of your children.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me when you made this loan, month and year.
June 17th is the first day I met with her.
And at that time you gave her?
I gave her $3,500.
Where did you get the money from?
From my bank account.
Okay. And you have proof of that with you?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see it.
There's two different transactions. One's the $3,500, and then the following day she asked me for another $1,000. That's why both those are highlighted, and the withdrawal slip for the $35 is on the back of those papers.
Well, one says quick pay was Zelle payment to Nancy Camello. The other one just says withdrawal on the 17th.
Yes, I withdrew the money and gave her cash because she needed it that day, because she was going the following day to see the attorney.
What's the name of the attorney you went to see?
I have an ongoing case right now. It's very active. I don't know if I mean...
The name of your lawyer is not a secret.
Well, I don't know. I've never done this before. Lauren...
And you made a payment to the lawyer on either the 17th or the 18th of June in the amount of $3,500. So if I, with your permission, would call the attorney would confirm that you made a $3,500 payment either on the 17th or the 18th. Am I correct?
Well, no, actually, the amount that I needed to give her was $4,000. That's why Mr. Moody gave me $1,000 more.
It's not my question to you. My question to you is, would the attorney tell me that on or about you made a payment of at least $3,500 on those dates?
Absolutely.
And your case is ongoing?
Yes.
Now, if you had to give the lawyer $4,000, why did you take $4,500 from him?
I originally thought that I needed that amount to give to... For a retainer fee. I originally thought I needed that amount for a retainer fee, which I ended up giving to her that she needed. That went towards more of a retainer fee because my retainer fee has been depleted since the time that I gave it to her originally.
I just want to know, if you had to give her $4,000, which is what you just told me, why did you take $45,000 from the plaintiff?
I thought originally that I needed $4,500.
Did you give it?
I gave the lawyer...
$4,000, which is what you told me.
Yes.
Did you give him back $500?
No, he was fine with it.
Well, I mean, according to this, he was your friend from high school. You sort of reconnected decades later on Facebook or one of those machine characters, and all of a sudden you needed money.
Yes.
Okay, so if you thought you needed $45,000 and all you needed was $4,000, and he was generous enough to, as you say, give you that money, why wouldn't you be honest enough to return the $5,000 to him that you didn't need the next day?
He told me to keep it for my children.
Because you couldn't even get your story straight with me. Do you understand?
I understand what you're saying.
You understand where I'm coming from.
Yes.
You know, one of the things that I sort of find irritating is when somebody uses somebody else for money, which it appears that you did, because then you go on to complain, well, once he gave me the money, he wanted to go out on a date, and I knew he liked me from high school. What do you do for a living, Mr. Moody?
Right now, I'm unemployed.
What had you done?
I was doing quality control in the warehouse.
And you had a bank account, according to this, that started out with a balance of $26,000. Where did that come from?
I had a settlement for workers' comp claim.
When?
I received that 2 months prior, so what, May area?
How much did you receive?
$60,000.
And in what month did you connect with Miss Camello?
It had been last year, towards the end of 2018.
And in what month and year did you get this workman's comp settlement?
I received that probably in the middle of May 2019.
Did you tell Miss Camello that you had received it?
No, I did not. I didn't tell anybody that I received the money. I purchased new tires for my car, and people saw that, and, oh, he must have money. So then a lot of people started asking for money.
How long haven't you worked?
Since May. The same day I received that check is the same day that I was like, oh, my job.
Going to go through that money very fast. Miss Camello working?
No, she was not.
Your Honor, I am state-aided.
So,
I have a child that has severe medical problems that I stay home with.
What does that have to do with whether or not you're working?
Well,
I mean, I'm making a judgment as to whether or not the plaintiff had a reasonable expectation of being repaid the money
he knew I couldn't repay him.
I'm not, listen to me. I'm speaking. When I'm speaking, you don't. I mean, I have a feeling I'm dealing with two people who a little bit whatever. But you want to have to stay home with a child for whatever reason, that's your business. I have to know for the purposes of my business whether you claim this was a gift. He said it was a loan, and I have to know if he says it was a loan, from what did he expect you to pay back the loan if you weren't working? That actually is a question that would be helpful for you. So, I mean, I want you to try to be a three-process thinker.
Right.
Now, the defendant wasn't working.
Correct. She wasn't working, but she was receiving a check every month.
Just a second. She was receiving a check every month from what and in what amount?
The amount I do not know. I was never told the amount.
From what?
From state aid.
She was receiving governmental assistance, which doesn't make you rich. It makes you sustained, but doesn't make you rich. Doesn't certainly make you rich enough to pay back $4,500.
No.
$10 a week to pay back $4,500.
We agreed on $20 a week, not 10, but it did be a long time.
Just 1 second. You agreed on $20 a week.
Correct.
Starting when you gave her the money, which was in June.
Yes, so starting July 1st.
Now, Miss Camello, did you agree to pay back Mr. Moody this $4,500 at the rate of $20 a week?
No, we did not. We never had such an agreement.
How do you support yourself?
I do get help from my mother, but it's a hardship on her to help me.
She's your mother.
Yeah.
So you get help from your mother. Who else do you get help from?
State aid.
Well, state aid is different from your mother.
Yeah.
And how much do you receive in state aid?
It was $748 a month, but my son just turned 18, so they lowered it to $604. I brought that with me if you'd like to see it.
Do you have additional care for your son? Does he require additional help?
Well, I mean, I help him in regards to his medical problems.
What I'm saying to you is, in addition to yourself, is there another health aid required to help take care of your adult son?
No, ma'am.
Did he go to high school?
Well, he was on home hospital. A teacher came to the house to teach him.
Until when?
He graduated at the beginning of this last June, 2000.
Battle, according to the papers here. And the custody battle involves what child or children?
I have a 1-year-old daughter, and yeah, I needed to establish custody because I was physically assaulted by this person.
You have a 1-year-old child, you have an 18-year-old who needs assistance.
Yes.
And then you have a 1-year-old.
Yes.
Has the 1-year-old lived with you continuously since birth?
Yes.
And who initiated the proceeding in court? Who is the plaintiff in the court action?
With my child?
With your 1-year-old.
I am.
When was it initiated?
I got my lawyer, I hired the lawyer on the 18th of the day after Mr. Moody gave me the money. So I actually have my court paperwork. We went to court a few weeks after that.
Was the father of the child granted any visitation?
Only once a week for 2 hours.
So the answer is yes, once a week for 2
Yes.
hours. Did your mother give you any money towards the lawyer?
No, she could not. That's why I asked for
I'm just asking.
help.
So the answer is no. When is your next court appearance?
Well, it was supposed to be on the 23rd, but I just got a call this morning. My lawyer went into labor because she's pregnant, so there's going to be a continuance. They said 22 days from the 23rd, so sometime in October.
Expectation of being paid back.
I still agreed. I thought we were going to stick to our agreement of the payment of the $20 a week. I didn't know that her payment got lowered. We haven't talked. Ever since I mentioned coming to court, we don't talk.
It doesn't make any difference, sir. From $600 a month to take care of herself, a 1-year-old, and an incapacitated 18-year-old adult.
He's more capable of getting around. I've met him.
You don't do that on $600 a month and expect to pay back.
I never knew the dollar amount of what she was getting.
Well, then you should have. Actually, you should have. If I was to lend somebody $5,000 and all I had in the bank was $20,000 and I'm not working, I would find out if it was just an arm's distance loan, how much you're going to pay me back and where are you going to get the money from?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
When did you go out for dinner with her?
We never did.
Never.
She thought it was a date, but I said, bring your kids and bring my daughter. That's not a date.
No, Your Honor, I have a text, him asking me to go look at the moon with him. We never went out to dinner.
Listen to me, you're not a victim.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Todd Moody says his former friend, Nancy Camello, owes for a loan to obtain an attorney for a custody battle.
If I was to lend somebody $5,000 and all I had in the bank was $20,000, pay me back, and where are you going to get the money from?
She planned on getting the money from her ex by filing for him to pay her attorney fees, and that's what she was going to pay me back with. That's what she had said, because she went to court on the 9th, and that's when, after the 9th, she never responded back to me, so on the 19th is when I went to go file for small claims.
On the 19th of?
July, 2019.
Your Honor, that's not true. I have several text
How
messages.
could you go to file on the 19th of July? You mean 4 weeks later you went to file?
Yeah, and I told her about it on the 25th of July of this year. She had made no attempt to do anything. She didn't call me and tell me I don't have the money right now. Because I told her if you don't...
When did you go out for dinner with her?
We never did.
Never.
No, we didn't do it. She thought it was a date, but I said, bring your kids and bring my daughter. That's not a date.
No, Your Honor, I have a text, him asking me to go look at the moon with him. I have other text messages.
Listen to me.
We never went out to dinner.
Listen to me. You're not a victim.
I'm not.
You're not a victim.
Not saying that I am.
You're not a victim. You needed money, and if you needed money, and if he wanted to give it to you because he was, I don't know, smitten in high school, that's the only reason somebody would give you $4,500.
When
they only have 20. What?
And because of her daughter. I have 4 kids, and I know what it's like to have your kids taken away. I didn't want that happening to her.
She wasn't having her kids taken away. Her daughter was with her.
That's what she was afraid of.
I was not afraid of that.
No.
I have a restraining order on this person.
Shh. Don't speak the action, sir. She's the plaintiff in the action.
I understand that, but she had no attorney, but he did. So that's what she was afraid of.
She's the plaintiff in the action. He wasn't asking for custody. She's the plaintiff in the action. I don't know under what circumstances she's the plaintiff in the action. However, I think, Ms. Camello, that you should stop paying him back $20 a week. I think that was your agreement.
That was not. I actually have text messages of him telling me not to worry about it.
Oh, I'd like to see those.
Okay.
That would make it not to worry about paying him back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, not to pay him back.
Shh. I'm going to read them.
Okay.
I'm going to read them.
The first set I have...
No, just show me. Don't read it.
Okay. Let me see. Here's that agreeing. He's agreeing.
Don't tell me what he's doing. I'll read it and interpret it myself.
Here, here you go.
No, don't give me all that junk.
Well, I'll have to look through, Your Honor.
I'm not listening to... Oh, well, clearly, if this is what you're showing me, Miss Camello, the plaintiff expected to be repaid because you say to him, hey, good morning. I wanted to know if you would be okay with me waiting to see at court, if this is July 4th, if the judge makes Alan pay my attorney's fees. And if so, I'm hoping I could lump sum.
Yes.
Quiet. If that's not okay, after paying my bills, I have a little money left, and I can give you at least a little payment back to start off with. Just let me know, and happy 4th. So now we have clearly a loan.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Oh, this is very nice of him. It shows that he's a nice person and you're not. It says, okay.
It looks a certain way, but it's not that way.
Okay. No, that's it. That's way...
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Todd Moody claims former friend Nancy Camello borrowed money to fight a custody battle and refuses to pay him back.
Now, you say to him, hey, good morning. I wanted to know if you would be okay with me waiting to see if the judge makes Alan pay my attorney's fees. And if so, I'm hoping I could just give it all back to you in one lump sum. So now we have clearly a loan, because you say, I can give it back to you, I hope, in one lump sum if the court orders somebody else to pay my counsel fees, because I don't work.
Yes,
and the thing that one of the things that you don't do, you have difficulty taking care of one child is having another one.
Well, I was engaged to this person, Your Honor,
there's no question. There's no question out there for you.
And I cannot predict the future.
There's no question out there for you. What you just gave me supports the plaintiff's allegation that you understood you had to give this money back. You were hoping the court would order somebody else to pay it. But if they didn't, you had a little left over from what you get every month, and you could start to make payments. That's what you say in the text.
I'm sorry, I have to look through these. There's some other text messages where he's saying otherwise, agreeing to other things. But...
Well, I'd like to see them. But right now, the text dated July 4th acknowledges a loan. Now, if what you want to show me is that he forgave the loan, because right now this acknowledges a loan. So only show me where he forgave the loan.
If I may have a moment to look for that.
You can have all the time you need.
Okay, here we go. Let me see. Let me see. Well, here's one.
I need the date of this.
There's no date on that one?
No. He's a nice person and you're not. It says, okay.
It looks a certain way, but it's not that way.
Okay. No, that's way.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by...
Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Oh, this is very nice of him. It shows that he's a nice person and you're not. It says, okay.
It looks a certain way, but it's not that way.
Okay. No, that's way. Okay, he says to you, but I'm not in a rush, and if it causes you to be short on anything, please let me know. I don't want to be added stress. I'd rather you take longer than not have money for your bills or your kids.
Your Honor, he began asking me out after he gave me the money. I refused him. I have a text of him telling me he wants to buy me Chanel perfume. I told him no.
Do me a
I
favor.
don't want
I don't
anything from him.
Listen to me.
I said no.
Listen to me. I don't give a rat's behind about whether or not he wanted to take you out afterwards.
Well, he's
at the time,
suing me because I said no to him.
Listen, you don't look like Papa. You
That's
acknowledge
really
in the text
rude.
and you acknowledge in the texts that you gave me that it was a loan. He was a nice guy. He said, so you can't give it back to me all at one time because at first you said, I think the judge is going to let me get the counsel fees from Alan, who was evidently the father of this one-year-old. Didn't happen, so I can pay you back little bits at a time because I have extra money. He's a nice enough guy. He said to you, I don't want to stress you. If you need more time, take more time. And the response to that niceness is you're saying, well, he really was harassing me because he really wanted more from me than just friendship and being a nice guy. And that's why he's doing his judgment for the plaintiff. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,500. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
He liked playing video games and staying at home with the dog. That was it.
A defiant son.
I said, Nicholas, if you're choosing to not go to college...
I want the dog back.
And he said no.
Next Judge Judy.
He stalked me. He wouldn't leave me alone. He wouldn't stop asking me out.
Stalking, that's funny, because I wasn't stalking her. I was at my house, never... The only time I went over there was when she invited me over to give her the money.
No, I don't want to go out with you.
I asked her out to dinner because I know what it's like to be depressed. Don't sit in the house. It's going to make it worse.
I told him that I was very depressed with what I was going through and to please leave me alone.
She called me crying. I didn't answer my phone. And so I called her back. I texted her, are you okay?
I told him that I needed money.
No, horrible. She started telling me what was wrong. So I started talking to her. She said, needed money.
That was our original agreement. But then he said, don't worry about it.
I had it. She's a friend since high school. And I didn't want to see her lose her kid, so I helped her out.
And then he started posting things on social media.
I thought I was helping a friend, not somebody who just wanted my money and then be gone.
It doesn't matter at this point. It's done. It's over.
Nobody else is getting money unless her family.
I don't ever want to see his face again, and I want to leave now.
Miss Bayes told you she was pregnant.
Yeah. A teen convinced her mother.
We had a baby shower. We did all these things.
But questions remained.
I assume you went with her to a doctor?
She did not want me to go with her.
She had told us both of her parents were deceased.
And a child never appears.
She sent us a picture of a baby saying she had the baby.
I'm just not sure if there ever was one to begin with.
This is Judge Judy.
Christina and Abraham Ravello. Our year-old Taya Trinity Bias for court costs, DNA testing, and fraud regarding her alleged pregnancy.
Order. All rise. It's case number 53 on the calendar, the matter of Ravello versus Bias.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Miss Bias, how old are you?
19.
Who is this?
This is my mother.
Would you stand up with her, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't you stand up with your folks? You're Mr. Ravello,
I'm Alejandro Gonzalez.
and these are your parents?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
When did you meet Miss Baez?
About February of 2018.
More than a year ago?
Yeah.
A year and a half ago. And when were you dating?
We never dated. We were workers together at Walmart.
Is that correct, Miss Baez, that you were workers together?
Yes.
Well, there had to come a time when you had some sort of dating experience, because at one point, Miss Baez told you that she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And when was that?
Off the top of my head, I can't remember.
When was that?
It was about the end of April. We had a sexual relationship about St. Patrick's Day.
Where?
My house.
Just the two of you there?
Yes.
And that was the only time?
No, actually, a few weeks after we found out that I was pregnant, we had...
After, by the way, don't you people discuss birth control with your children?
Oh, we did.
Oh, I have.
Before?
Yep.
We did.
And you?
Yep, we have.
So let me ask you a question, kids. What kind of stupid don't you get?
I take full responsibility for what I've done.
Same here.
Well, actually not. What does that mean, you take full responsibility for what you did? Did you give your parents back the money for the tests that they had ordered, for the day that they took off to go to court to do a paternity test? Did you do any of that? No, you didn't. You just said, my bad. Now, Miss Baez, you say you were intimate again after you found out you were pregnant, and that was sometime in April?
Yes, it was towards the
Okay, so
beginning of
St. Patrick's Day is in March. Am I not correct? St. Patrick's Day is always in March. So what would make you go to the drugstore and buy a, whatever it is, a device or a gauge, what is it called?
Pregnancy kit?
A pregnancy kit. What would make, I haven't bought one. I don't know who they are. I know
It's okay, it's one of those
I know
things.
about, you know, I was pregnant, the rabbit died. That's how you knew you were pregnant. You didn't go to a stick or anything else.
So a few weeks after we were, intimate, I was a few days late, and I had reached out to Alejandro, let him know I was a few days late, and he said,
why would you want to do that?
Well, if it was a possibility, I wanted to let him know just to be safe, just because. And so we waited about 2 weeks later, and then I was in a car accident, so I went to the hospital, and that's where they told me I was pregnant, and then we bought another test so that I could take it in front of him.
In what month were you in a car accident?
The 17th of April.
So 4 weeks later?
Yes.
And you can't tell me what they told you in the hospital, because I'm not interested and it's hearsay.
I mean, I do have the paper.
Sure. If you have a report from the hospital, I can see it as a business record. You didn't take this test in April, you took it in March.
Oh, well, wrong day.
You took it in March, on March 25th. Do you remember on what date you had sex with the defendant?
The very first time, it was towards the middle of February.
Well, the middle of February isn't St. Patrick's Day.
I didn't say St. Patrick's Day, no.
She did.
The very first time that we had intercourse was in February.
Where?
At her house.
Tell me the circumstances, because clearly her mother doesn't know that.
So after I'd reached out to him, let him know that I was pregnant, we...
Listen, I know you have a story that you want to tell, but it's getting more interesting to me. Do you understand?
Yes.
You told your mother you had sex with him once on St. Patrick's Day. I assume that's what she told you. And then, again, I assume you asked her those questions, because you're her mother. I mean, I'm a stranger, and I asked her those questions.
Yes, ma'am.
So that...
I was aware that they were seeing each other, or at least speaking
They weren't
back
seeing each other.
I'm not really up to date on all of her sexual life, but I was aware that they had been speaking and communicating with each other in sometime in February, but as far as the exact dates, I am not sure, Your Honor.
Well, speaking and communicating with each other is not having sex together. In your house, do you work?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's why your house is convenient, because they clearly both have the same shifts from Walmart. I assume you never saw him in your house.
No, I did not.
Well, so that was a logical assumption. So that was February. That was before St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day may be a day you remember, but that was before St. Patrick's Day. And your pregnancy test, just so that you know, was March 25th.
Okay.
4 weeks later. Now, what happened in April. So you're in a car accident in April. You had already taken a pregnancy test. This is why, you know, you're getting fuzzy with me.
Yeah.
Because you had a car accident in April, and when you went to the emergency room, they did a pregnancy test on you, and they told you were pregnant. Then you told him you were pregnant. In front of him, you took a pregnancy test. But the truth of the matter is your dates are all fouled up, right?
Yes.
Okie dokie. When did your daughter tell you she was pregnant?
I would say towards the end of April.
And what did you say to her?
To be honest, I was upset, Your Honor. She's young, and I was upset. I wanted her to have different things in life, and that was not how I wanted it to start.
You're absolutely right. Did you suggest that to her?
I did.
And her response was?
Pretty much that it's, you know, I mean, that she was already pregnant. There wasn't anything I could do to stop it at that point. So we just had to kind of deal with whatever came next.
You have other children?
No, ma'am.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a phlebotomist.
Is that how you support your family?
Yes, ma'am.
And other than working at Walmart, what do you do?
I actually work at a restaurant now.
There are other things that you can do at 19 other than have a baby.
Agreed.
With somebody who clearly doesn't want to have a baby, that you don't even like, that you never had a meal with outside of work, that the only thing you did was came over to your house when your mother wasn't working. Ta-da! Tell me in what month you allege you had a miscarriage.
The end of October, ma'am.
You have medical records? February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. That's a very, very late miscarriage, which must have been at a hospital.
Correct.
What hospital did you go to?
I went to North Suburban, ma'am.
Did your mother go with you?
No, ma'am.
Did your daughter show signs of pregnancy in September?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you go with her to the hospital in October?
I did not, Your Honor. She is a very independent young lady, and as soon as she was able to be 18 and make her own decisions and own choices,
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
February to March, March to April, April to May, May to June, June to July, July to August, August to September, September to October. That's a full-term pregnancy.
We had a gender reveal, we had a baby shower, we did all these things. It wasn't that I was never involved or any of that. We did all of these things because we did get excited that there was going to be a baby coming. Eventually, I got over being upset and started to get excited.
Well, your daughter is very independent.
Yes, ma'am.
And you had a party for her. I believe you. You see, I don't believe her. Neither do you. So you have an only child who you made a gender reveal party for, that you got excited about. You had an only child who carried to home. You went with her to a doctor?
She did not want me to go with her to the doctor. She had one of her girlfriends go with her.
Did you know the name of the doctor?
It's Women's Health Clinic. It's associated with North Suburban.
But you never went with her?
No, ma'am.
Not once in 8 months?
My wife had offered to go to a doctor's appointment immediately after we found out. We had told her, you know, because we had spoke with our son, and he had basically said, you know, we did have intercourse. He said, I immediately realized, you know, what I had done, and he asked Ms. Bies, hey, take the morning after pill, I'll pay for it. And she had basically told him that she has a heart condition.
She or the baby?
No, that Ms. Bies has a heart condition and that it would affect her if she took it. So we set up an appointment to meet her, and we asked to meet with her and her parents, and she had told us that both of her parents were deceased. So we met with her and her friend, and we had told her that, you know, we understand the situation. We raised our son to be responsible, and if in fact there was a baby, that he would take care of the child. But we wanted to make it clear that he had made it clear that he doesn't want to continue a relationship with her. Immediately after we
Did you know all this?
No, if this is true, I did not know.
The question that what he's telling me is true. The only one who's a liar is she.
My wife had told her that she wanted to be actively involved in the doctor's appointments. About an hour after we left, she had sent a text message saying that it was all moving too fast and that she needed to take a step back and she didn't want us involved.
Do you have any of those text messages?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we do.
I'd like to see them. It's a whole different story, right?
It is, to me, yes.
We were also sent pictures of ultrasounds with the bracelet, you know, showing that she was in the hospital. You know, however, the ultrasound did not have her name on it.
Good time.
The one I seen did, but I'm sure I said the ultrasound I seen did, but I don't know how many of them she had or what she shared with them.
She says to your daughter, good morning, when is your next appointment? That's Mrs. Ravello.
Okay.
When is your next appointment? I need to let my job know. I know this appointment is already scheduled, so whatever time it is fine, and we'll make it work. Supportive, correct? Did you know that? No, because she told them that you were dead. For the time being, I need to take a major step back for myself and the baby. I will still notify you and everything you like, but right now, I need to step away to speak to their son personally. And I gather that they felt as if he needed a buffer, which turned out to be very good judgment on their part.
Okay.
To keep him away from her, because he's 19 and stupid, and she is 19 and stupid but cunning.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Birds make babies, dogs make babies, cats make babies, fish make babies, elephants make babies, all kinds of animals, ants make babies. You know, you don't have to be a genius to have a baby.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Christina and Abraham Ravello claim their son's former friend, Taya Trinity Bias, faked a pregnancy and claimed their son was the father.
She answered, if I don't hear from Alex himself by Friday, as per my lawyers, I have every legal right to leave the country on a temporary and permanent stint. The Dominican Republic has no extradition treaty for citizens. If agreements were supposed to be met, it should have been on all fronts, not just mine. So if I don't hear from Alex himself Friday, I'll be leaving for good. Again, if I don't hear from him by Friday, we will also be pursuing a game or a force of leverage. But if we are going to come to a common ground, the statuses would have stopped last night. What does that mean?
So his sister started posting on Facebook about me, saying that, oh, wow, now she's pregnant. I wonder who the dad is. And when we had sat down and had a conversation, I asked...
Who's we?
Me, Christina, Abe, and Alejandro. We sat down and we both agreed, because me and Alejandro both, being stupid teenagers, were posting malicious statuses towards each other. And we both agreed that the statuses would stop after the agreement. And the
so you all agreed that you were going to stop this person who's going to have a baby, who is mature enough to have a baby, despite his having a reasonable conversation with her mother, spends her time posting negative things with him, another genius, and now he got his sister involved, because his sister probably feels as if he got snookered by somebody, and so she got involved. It would be a terrible thing, of course, if you had a baby that survived almost to its 9th month and then you miscarried. I have no proof of that. Your mother wasn't at the hospital with you. She seems like a perfectly reasonable, lovely lady. I'm just not sure if there's a deceased baby or one that's living elsewhere, or if there ever was one to begin with. Spend a lot of money, you'll never know whether Miss Byers decided at the last minute that if you weren't going to be in her life, she was going to get even, she was going to give up this baby for adoption, or maybe give it to a friend. Who knows?
I can tell you, Your Honor, that's at least that's definitely not the case. The baby was never given up. Nobody has the baby. She has been through emotional stuff.
What I'm asking you is, did you ever see proof that your daughter had a miscarriage?
No, ma'am, I guess I did not.
And it's actually beyond the realm of my imagination that a 19-year-old girl would start to go into labor. She lives alone?
No, ma'am, she lives currently with my mom. When she got pregnant, she moved there.
She left your house?
Yes.
Did your mother go with her to the hospital? Is my question.
Not as far as I'm aware of.
Well, you don't speak to your mother?
I speak to my mom. It's been something that's been emotional, so it's not something that we talk about a lot.
What Mr. and Mrs. Ravello are suing for is the time that they took, the costs that they incurred, getting maternity tests ordered, going to court, and the emotional roller coaster that your daughter caused them.
That's not what happened.
They would actually like answers. I can't give you answers today because I can't force her to give you the status was of that baby, if there ever was one. I don't know. The whole story sounds very strange. You'll just have to get over it and make sure that you take necessary precautions until you are physically, financially, emotionally, and independently ready to become a father. Make sure you don't take any chances where that could happen.
Yes, Your Honor.
You know, Because birds make babies, dogs make babies, cats make babies, fish make babies, elephants make babies, all kinds of animals, ants make babies. You know, you don't have to be a genius to have a baby.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She told us she had the baby.
And right after that, my roommate, who she was in contact with my entire pregnancy, I asked her to let her know that I was no longer pregnant. She knew that.
The only thing I know about you is that when your mouth is moving, you're lying.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Christina and Abraham Ravello are accusing their son's former friend, Taya Trinity Bias, of faking a pregnancy. They are suing for their damages.
Now, she sent us a picture of a baby saying she had the baby. She told us she had the baby.
And right after that, my roommate, who she was in contact with my entire pregnancy, had sent her, and I asked.
The only thing I know about you is that when your mouth is moving, you're lying. That's the only thing I know about you. The only thing. Can I see the picture she sent you?
Yes, ma'am. This is the one of her telling me when the baby was born, how much it weighed, and what time she had the baby, and the name of the baby.
You want that?
Yes. Where did you get this picture from?
It's a friend.
What's a friend?
I got it from a friend.
You got the picture from a friend?
Yes.
Is this a picture of her baby?
Yes.
When did she have this baby?
June of last year.
When did you ask her for this picture?
I want to say the 29th of October, so a few days before.
A few days before what?
I notified that the baby was born.
Had you already had your miscarriage?
Yes.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, you will...
She works at Lowe's as a cashier.
Did she go to the hospital with you?
No, ma'am.
Who went to the hospital with you?
My roommate at the time, her name is Alexandria.
I thought you were living with your grandmother.
She lives with us as well at the time.
What does Alexandria do?
I don't know currently. We are no longer in communication.
Good girl. Good for her.
You'll never know.
No.
Unless you sue her in a civil court, which case you'll be able to get her medical records from this hospital. Now you know the hospital, you know the date, and you'll be able to find out.
We believe they're non-existent.
They also believe the pregnancy pictures of me weren't real.
Just a second. I don't know.
I have them right here.
I don't believe anything you say.
I don't know.
Wasn't talking to you.
Don't speak to each other. You caused an awful lot of trouble for an awful lot of people. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. Keep waitressing.
Parties are excused when they step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
A caring grandmother steps in.
The school called you. Her daughter smells for marijuana.
She wants to take my child. When she called the police, she said I was kidnapping her daughter.
Judge Judy.